probably see you there as well, Rossa, won't we?
Hopefully.
Yeah?
Hopefully.
What might be lined up at the moment?
Well, listening to Rafe last week, you know, Kenross might go there. After that, I'm not sure.
What a horse he is, Kenross.
Oh, he's electric. He's just, you know, people wrote him off after Goodwood. But his last 2 furlong sectionals were incredible, and we got it wrong that day, and I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. I thought when I was going to come in that Rafe would have half his hair pulled out, because he said to me, "Don't get there till the furlong," but he was just, he was so happy in himself, and the race had killed itself off. I thought, well, even if he does pull himself up, he could get to a trot and he'll still win this.
And the thing is, you know, you won a Group 3, a Group 2 and a Group 1 in the space of 72 hours, or a little under 72 hours, but it strikes me that you got more pleasure, more raw pleasure out of riding Kenross of that victory than just about anything I've seen you do this season.
Yeah, because it was kind of, I just started riding for Rafe. I was only out of my claim, and I'd only won a group, the Celebration Mile, the year previous, and the same way Kenross had not as good a season as a 3-year-old as they thought, and I got the ride on him in the Lennox, and I'll never forget Rafe saying, "Just sit on the rail and don't come off it, and don't go for him until you get one clear cut at them, and make sure it's late and very late." And he got up and won, and that was Kenross starting off on his journey to what he was going to become, the legend he is, and it kind of was mine too.
So you laid the foundations for Frankie Dettori to take all the glory, and then you got your moment again.
I wasn't complaining really at the time when it happened. I didn't complain too much.
Rossa, can I ask you about Rafe Beckett for a second? Tom Segal in the Racing Pulse this week wrote an interesting piece, said we've always had a big 2, Aidan O'Brien and Charlie Appleby. He said he thinks we now have a big 3 because Beckett is gradually elevating himself into that league. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, you know, they're getting the big support now from the likes of Almont, Mark Chan, Judd Mont, to name but a few, with the pedigrees to match. But also, Rafe's not scared of running them in the top races. He's not one bit scared of anyone. You know, you seen Tabiti, she won her maiden. She was impressive, but she was very green at the same time, and we knew she wouldn't like soft ground in Salisbury, and dropping her back to 6 probably wasn't in her favour either, but he wasn't one bit scared and had all the confidence in her. So yeah, I got to admire him for things like that. And you know, he's time and time, every year there's always a couple of nicely handicapped horses, and I think this year going the distance in Royal Ascot was a very, very well executed plot job, and it worked out well.
I did think, to Graham's point and to your point, that when he ran 4 in the Oaks this year, okay, it didn't come off, but if a trainer's prepared to run 4 in the Oaks, you think, oh, here we go, someone who's actually going to take it to them.
Yeah, exactly, and a bit like, you know, some of the top races this year, definitely in the fillies category, very open division. You know, even when You Got To Me won the Irish Oaks, I think someone said she was only rated 101 or something like that. You know, whereas other years you had a Naval come through, there was always a standout, or you always thought there was going to be a standout. And even this year in the Derby, City of Troy was a standout favourite, even though people had their doubts. The money never stopped coming for him, and he's fulfilled what, you know, Aidan and Ballydoyle have thought of him. But yeah, the Oaks, it wasn't. It was a much open contest, and the 3-year-old fillies, I thought this year, when I'd ridden in the Oaks, I didn't fear any of them with Bluestocking, that's for sure.
Bluestocking, of course, won again last weekend, the Prix Vermeil. Can she get involved in an arc?
I don't see why not. Obviously, the big guns. Charlie doesn't seem to have much this year, and Aidan is bringing City of Troy to America, so you're going to take on a Los Angeles, I would imagine. You got the Japanese horse in, but you know, you also got a rider that's going to ride him that lack experience, and I don't think she's. I think as Rafe said, she's versatile on the ground. She can go on any ground, but I think on soft ground, it just deflates others where she can get out of it and keep running. And we had to change tactics massively with her in France the last day. And I think 6 months ago or a year ago, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So she's grown up as well, and it's good to see. It's good to see. I think she'll have a chance.
You jumped her out and put her right on the speed last week, didn't you? Why would she not be able to do that 6 months ago, for example?
Because she, if you've seen this year, she got the cheek pieces applied in York first time up, and she got them applied last year for the first time Champions Day because she went to Chester and had the race home and hosed, and she just got a bit idle on Rob that day. And I think that was just more immaturity, really. But we took them off her in the Pretty Polly, and you know, when we came back in, I was very adamant to put them back on again. It just keeps her focused, but it worked.
With Kenross in the Foray and Bluestocking in the Arc, you're in for a big day at Longshot in a few weeks, aren't you?
Big day, yeah. I will not be a sad man getting to Longchamp if it's heavy.
Can I take you back quickly to, I think it was February the 24th in Saudi. You've ridden hundreds of winners, plenty of big winners. You rode that very, very valuable winner on Anaf. I remember watching that day and looking at you, Anna Chinot, who won a big race on Spirit Dancer. Amazing atmosphere, bright lights, darkness. Your eyes seemed to light up that day as if to say, right, this big international racing is something else. Was that a real kickstart moment for you?
Yeah, I thought I was a very small fish in a big pond, and Anaf was like one of these gems that comes along every once in a while, and I found him over the winter, and he went on to win a Portland and a Group 3, and you know, what I found funny was people used to always write him off, but yet everyone forgets that he was third in a King's Stand. And it only seems to be getting better, and he was spot on and everything fell right the big day, which was the big thing.
To ride the rail and then pounce like that in a high-class field, that must give you an extra kick.
Yeah, but that's the way Anaf has to be ridden. You have to ride him for luck, and not all the time it's going to come off, but he's got the gears to get you out of trouble when you need it, so you have to trust him. But he's back now. I spoke to Ed Foster yesterday after his run, and he seemed pretty pleased. I think their big aim with him is Champions Day, and he'd be off on his travels again. But you know, he's a fair horse to come back from what happened to him out in Dubai.
Well, as we saw with Anaf, we saw with jet setting earlier on in your career, Adrian, sometimes the best gifts can come in the unlikeliest packages. When you rejoin us after this break, some pretty extraordinary stories from what might have seemed like a workaday day yesterday. Not a bit of it.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.